My name is Scott Redler, Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. Welcome to today's recap, and it is Friday. Cheers to you. You guys made it. This is actually like a cloudy water because it used to be a green drink, and I just put some water in it. I guess it should be a cerveza. Cerveza. You guys want to have cerveza? Maybe we'll have cerveza. Maybe middle of the thing. Anyway, overall, I think what the stats are, the S&P was down almost 5 or 6% on the week. NASDAQ was down a bunch on the week. Got to say, a week ago, we were waiting for this to happen or waiting for some type of range resolution. So it wasn't like this should have been a surprise. If you look here at the Qs, a week ago, Thursday is when the range resolved, and here you go. What we need as a trader is when ranges resolve, you get movement and you get follow through. And the Qs resolved to the downside from 311 or 302 to a low of 269. Now what? Every time we get a little bit extended below the 8-day, sometimes you rally back to it. Hard to get too excited, but again, it's hard to be so short here, in my humble opinion. You go to the weekly chart. The weekly chart is working lower, head and shoulders top pattern, left shoulder head, right shoulder. We broke below, came back and kind of retested it. Some people think this was the neckline. Some people think this was the neckline. Either way, retested this 315 area, broke below 303, and now what? You have 269.29. That's all you have as your point of reference for next week. You have 251, which is another point of reference below, and then 237 is big. 237 is probably the same level if you look at the SPYs here as 340, right? So if the Qs get to 237, the SPYs are going to get to 340. At this point, we reached 362. Like that. When we're up here, I'm like, we could get to 360, and everyone's like, you're out of your mind. I'm like, this was the measured move, right? 479 to 415. What is that? That's, if I could do that, 60 handles below is, 60 handles below is about 360, 350-ish. So that was your measured move. We remember we came back up and retested this 415 area. We weren't sure if we would go to 425, but then when we broke 406.93 or 407, that inside candle gave us clues that downside was going to happen. We all did pretty well. I did well too, and buying a lot of puts. And granted, still, with these little buy, waves that happen, it's not that easy to be just short, especially after the size of the move. So now what? There was a guy on TV who was saying, in this area you nibble, and in this area you bite, in this area you gorge. Okay, well, that's why I talk a little bit on an intermediate basis, because I do have long-term accounts that I use that I put to work, and right now I put in half of my blood in the street account to work. First tier was down 17%, somewhere around, I remember it was 397-ish. That was the day where the SPYs closed at 397, so that was like 70% off highs. And then yesterday, we were pretty much close to the lows, which was 24%. So half is in, and the other half is waiting. It's not going to do 350. It's not going to do 355. It's not going to do 345. If we get to 340-ish, another 25% goes in, and then it waits again. And we'll see how long it takes and how fast it happens, so we know how much we should wait. If it happens really fast, chances are I might not put it in, because if it happens that fast, chances are we're going a lot lower. But we'll see. Either which way, though, we've been pretty prepared. Very, very prepared. So hopefully, listen, if you're not at the highs of your year, get over it. If you're a little bit, paper cuts, and you're a little out, and you're like, I'm down X for the second quarter, and you made good money last year and the year before, and it is what it is. The market's having a tough year. It's not the easiest environment. And it happens, and then it gets easier. Hopefully you've been at least tactical and out of the way, because right here was when you should have. I wrote a report as bearish as possible. Right here, it broke this trend line and then came down, retested it, and then now we'll see. Anyway, I don't want to talk about it. He said, she said, this said, that said. Anyway, XBI had a nice bounce off of the lows of the year. What does that mean? Well, I put, the daily chart this morning saying, hey, XBI and ARC did not make new lows on the week when the Qs and the SPY did. a little relative strength. Then lo and behold, the XBI was up almost 6% today. Now what? I guess we'll see if it builds. We'll see if it goes back up towards this area. All in all, though, lots of ways to maneuver before this. Red oak reversal, broke, double bottom into some bigger support. So maybe there's something here. Same thing with ARC. On the weekly, it's been absolutely annihilated. Sell signal, sell signal, sell signal, sell signal. Bear flag, right? Google bear flag. What's a bear flag? A continuation downside pattern to give you a wave for a consolidation and continuation. And that's what happened. Boom, consolidation, continuation. Boom, consolidation, continuation. Now what? Maybe this is a spot. Could be a long-term spot, and it could be a tradable spot. Some guys made money long there, some guys didn't. Anyway, what did Tesla do today? Let's just get to, this is the weekly chart of Tesla. It's looking a little vulnerable to me. You know, it's been vulnerable since it broke 974. You go to the daily chart. I didn't even trade one Tesla once today because I don't know. To me, it feels like it's going to be breaking this spot soon, and I'm just not a good short, and I don't want to get caught long, and we'll see. In order to get through 620, it's got to break 626. In order to get back to the 21-day, it's got to break above 675. It's not that compelling. Apple, you know, making lower lows. I guess you could take this and move it up a little bit. It did get through this spot. All in all, though, Apple feels lower. The whole market kind of feels lower, but maybe not next week. You don't know. Well, you know, this, you could go like this now. I guess take this. This was 130.144, the prior low, made new lows. So this is it. This is your little range. What happens with this now? We'll see. I am not doing anything with Apple so compelling until it, what's this, 133.07 now. I need this shoe. Someone's like, can I be buying Apple hand over fist? I'm like, well, if you look at the weekly chart of Apple, you know, I don't know, just feels like 118, 110-ish could happen. Here's 124.83. Same way Tesla feels overall, that, you know, this 514 is going to happen at some point. But then if that's going to happen, you know, that means spies are getting to 340. So you don't know. That's why we go, you know, step by step, day by day, week by week. Amazon also, if you look at the weekly, you know, a double bottom here at 101.26, 81's below. Maybe there's a bounce here. I didn't play it today. On the daily chart, got above 104.58, so it did show a little cajones for itself. We'll see what that goes. As long as it stays above 101, it's hard to get too bearish, I guess. I didn't even look at Meta today. What did Meta do today? Yeah, held above 159. We'll see. It's so crazy how uninteresting the tape is. You have to just like knick-knack. You have to buy perfectly, and you have to be confident on your shorts, and it's a cycle. These things happen. You know, you just gotta play along with it. FXI, I'm long still. Not a great candle, but as long as it holds 31, I think you could stay long this. BABA, they sold the ant news. Look at that. Can't get excited about anything. You cannot buy anything and buy it higher and sell it higher. You just can't. It just doesn't happen. We're in a bear market. You got to sell strength. Anyway, I'm not in BABA, but you know, I guess the whole ant thing was refuted, so I don't know. Looks pretty bearish now, but we'll see. What really amazes me is that, you know, about a week ago, everybody in the world wanted to be in energy names, and thank God we saw the doji close, and I was like, guys, I was on my toes with energy anyway because that whole sector has been kind of long in the tooth, and then I was waiting, and boom, everybody got out right here around 91.71 or right here when the 88 broke, and holy cow. I played a little bounce here, made money, and then I lost a little bit of money trading it today. That's just how predatory it is. Like, it's, you know, stair-stepping, doesn't even give you a buyable dip at all. Just run the hell out over you. That's why you can't just buy. You know, you buy versus level, take some paper cuts, because if you started buying here, which would have made sense a little bit, right? If this was going to be any good, it should have held 81.50. Well, today it hit a low of 72.59, knocking some teeth out. Markets change fast. Write that down. Markets change fast. If you read my book about the 8 and 21 day, here it broke the 8 day. You didn't have to sell the top. You didn't even have to get out at the low here of the doji. And then once it got below and stayed below the 21 day, it was still 85, $13 higher. Or you got short if you're good at that. I got a Chevron of 180. Why? Because I was on my toes and I used my charts and gave you every reason to get out. And then what? It's right here. And then if you didn't get out at whatever this was, 80, you could have got out right there at 177. And then I remember trying to play a bounce, and then it got rejected into the moving averages around 172. Much better than where it went to 145.79. That's how fast and dangerous things could be at certain times. That is why we have a process. That is why we adjust fast. That is why we are risk averse. That is why great defense wins championships. Offense could win some games, but I'm a defensive friggin' specialist. I played D-end in college. I bench pressed 355 for one, 2 plates for 15, and I friggin' had more sacks than anybody because I was also a wrestler. But anyway, it was back in the day. But just look how fast. Boom, 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 boom. Whew. And remember, I was like, guys, why didn't Oxy make a higher high with Chevron and XOM? So be on your toes. I'll show you what I got an Oxy right here. Didn't make a higher high when Chevron did, when XOM did. So that meant get on your toes, and it broke at 68. And now hit a low of 54.35. That's how fast this stuff happens. We are trading in fast markets, guys. We have to adjust fast, otherwise you're going to get caught and you're going to be losing more than you need to lose. I'm really good at this game, and I'm still flattish on the second quarter after some back and forth. I was down 6 figures, and I made that back. And I was green for the quarter as of 2 days ago, and then yesterday I got a little hurt, having some longs through whatever it's called, through the Fed. But made some back today. So I'm hovering, waiting. I have 4 accounts. I got a lot of money to work with, and I'm sitting there tight and waiting and waiting. We're not stuck. We're not underwater. We're not, we're waiting and biding our time. We're trying to be strategic and ready so we can pounce. And how do you do that? With the proper mentality. I could go over so many things, but there's just not, much to go over. Energy pulled back. We'll see if it holds here. Oil, you would think that this is healthy, that it pulled back. You would think the TLTs also gave you a little follow through to fill this gap. You would think the rates coming down. Market really didn't have a very, very convincing bounce with yields coming in, oil coming in. Those were things that I would have thought would have given us a more spirited bounce, and it didn't. So what does that mean? Does that the QT is happening where the balance sheet needs to be reduced? It means that they're still selling. It means that we probably have a quarter or two of bad earnings coming up. You still have some PE readjustments, and you have to take your trades. That is what we're going to do. Continue to take our trades and be light on our feet until we get to a better spot. We're going to know our time frame, and we're going to act accordingly. For now, we have points of reference heading into next week. Use them. Can't get to 350 if we don't break 362. Right? In the Qs. Can't get to 250 if you don't break 269.29. Apple. Can't get to 125 if you don't break 129.80. So these are the things that we do. Just so you know, I found out that June 19th, we're off. Well, June 19th is Sunday, which is Father's Day, which I hope everyone has a great Father's Day. I was thinking about having a push-up challenge just off the cuff on Sunday because I've been doing push-ups every day since I told you. Back when I came back from Orlando, I was at the highest weight I've ever been, and now I've been hovering around 177. I've been doing push-ups 5-6 times a week, and I'm up to about 80 straight. I can do 80 push-ups normal, then I take like a 25-second rest, and then I do like 30 really wide, and then I take a 25-second rest, and then I do 10 or 15. Chase does it too. So Chase and I, if you want to if you want to challenge me and Chase, and you have your son or your daughter, and you want to do it, let's do it. SkyT3Live.com, Father's Day. Or if you need some time, let's do it on July 4th. Anyway, it's a lot of fun. But I've been doing it every day, and I feel pretty strong, which is good. That's how I keep my mental sanity, by doing a lot of sweating in the sauna and a lot of push-ups to a bunch of motivational podcasts. So that's what I do. Doesn't mean that's what you have to do, but I think you got to do something to keep yourself sane. If you keep yourself sane, you could execute on your X's and O's. It's not all about the X's and O's. It's about executing on the X's and O's, which is, you got to figure out what you got to do to get yourself in the mentality to do that. You can't just do it by waking up. You got to work on it and work on it and work on it. That's what I do. That's hopefully what you do. That's what I've been training you guys to do. Anyway, there's nothing really acting special. There's nothing showing crazy relative strength. The sector rotation is tricky and hard. But if you're on your toes, you can see it. I'm going to try and help you see it. I am flying to Florida on Monday morning to visit my parents, and I'm going to be there on Tuesday. I will write a small note from Florida. I'm not going to be on the Alpha Team virtual trading floor because I'm going to be over there. And I did position a little bit for next week, not a lot, just, I did sell some SPY 355, some 354s and 350s, because I don't think after the size of the week we've been down and how far we're down that all of a sudden we're going to, break these levels. And if we get to these levels, I don't mind buying the SPYs by Friday. This put spread is done already. I sell some 370s out on, which is a small hedge. I put on a little blue, which is a small buy that I've been following. I have a few small things on still. XBI acted well today. I would think we can continue there. And so I don't have a whole lot going on. I haven't had a whole lot going on position-wise for months, since April 5th. Why April 5th? Well, let me show you why April 5th, which you already know. April 5th is right here. This was when this active sequence from March came probably to an end. This is when it confirmed the end. And from here, it was pretty much out of the way. Had a little bit of a bounce right here. We weren't sure. That's when we got net short again. And now it's not a whole lot to do this whole way down. And we'll see, there's something else happening here. Some guys are like, hey, Red Dog, this could be a left shoulder. This could be a head. We could come up and then make a right shoulder, and then we could get a neckline, and then we can go. Like, there's a lot of maybe. Let's figure it out. For now, this is your point of reference. You have a little bit of a doji close. In order to get to 372 or back to the 8-day, here's your 2 point of references. We'll see. I don't have a lot going on into Tuesday. I did sell some puts thinking, hey, we're at 366 in the SPYs. I feel decent that, if we get to 350 or 355 or 345 by next week, you know what, I don't mind buying them there. We'll see. But I don't think being long the SPYs into Tuesday, it's kind of like a coin flip, because we're weaker, a lot of things could happen. But being short here doesn't make so much sense either. So being flexible, I think, is the best. Alexa liked the word flexible.
I'm not sure.
You're not sure? Anyway, I'm not going to play a song because lately I've been playing a song, and then the authorities say I didn't pay for that song, so they take us down from YouTube, so I'm not going to do it. Either which way, enjoy your Father's Day weekend, everybody. If you're a mother right now, make sure you take care of your husband, because I'm sure, just like you do, he does a lot of things that nobody's looking at. And, if you are a dad, do something that makes you happy. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do something. And I'm going to lacrosse this weekend in Delaware, and that makes me happy, watching my son play, hanging out with all of the teammates, maybe having a little barbecue Saturday night. That makes me happy. And then I get to see my dad on Monday, which also makes me happy. So that's what I'm doing to make me happy. And I'm going to go right now and have a beverage, and I'm actually going for a massage. And I'm going to have a steak, and I'm going to go to sleep early, and I'm going to go watch a tournament. That's what I'm doing. So hopefully you're doing something cool, or something fun, or something that makes you happy. Do something that makes you happy, because, you got to be happy at times. And glass half full is where it's at. Later, guys.